Pope Francis declared from December 8, 2015 to November 20th, 2016 the Extraordinary Jubilee Year of Mercy. We have created a door of mercy that includes all the corporal and spiritual works of mercy. These works of mercy are things we should include in our daily lives to make this year truly the Jubilee Year of Mercy.
Feed the hungry. Have you ever been hungry? Not like before a meal hungry, starving. Hunger is a major issue in our world today. About 11% of the world's population is suffering from hunger. 21,000 people die each day because they do not have food. 30% of the people in undeveloped countries are starving. There are many ways we can help stop hunger in our world. Ask someone if there is an upcoming food drive. If there is not one, try to start one. Try not to waste food. We can make a change in our communities. There are many places that will accept donations. Since hunger is such a problem, everything helps. When was the last time you donated food? Have you ever realized how much your donations help those in need? Mother Teresa reminds us, if you can't feed 100 people, then just feed one. Matthew chapter 25, verse 35 says, "For I was hungry, and you fed me." Give drink to the thirsty. In Isaiah chapter 55, verse 1, we hear, "The Lord says, all you who are thirsty, come and drink." How do you feel when you are dehydrated or thirsty? Imagine feeling that every day. 800 million people are thirsty each day around the world. There are many ways to prevent this. We can all make a difference. These are all ways to conserve water in your home. Repair leaks right away to save water and money. Turn off the faucet when you're brushing your teeth. Take showers instead of baths. Don't throw away a full water bottle when you can drink it later. Support clean water policies. Donate money to help build wells in poor countries. When you save water, think of all the people you are helping. Be grateful for the water that we use daily for drinking, cooking, bathing, and cleaning. Psalm 107 verse 9 reminds us, "For he satisfies the thirsty and fills the hungry with good things." Clothe the naked.
Saint Basil once said, "When a person steals another person's clothes, we call them a thief." Shouldn't we call someone who could clothe the naked but doesn't a thief as well?
Many around the world suffer from a lack of clothing and protection for their bodies. There are many ways to give clothes to the needy, but there are some ways that really stick out in their effectiveness. When buying new clothes, give the needy your clothes you no longer wear.
Try to buy cheaper clothing so you can buy clothes for those who can't afford them.
Volunteer at places that clothe the needy, so you may help those in need of them.
Before buying clothes at a clothing store, travel to a thrift store and see if they have what you are looking for. Their profits go to helping others in the community to get what they need.
As it says in Colossians chapter 3, verse 12, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Visit the imprisoned. Have you ever been sent to your room and felt like you were locked away? When you feel that way, think about how many people who are sent to prison for what they have done or are been accused of. They have turned away from God and they need our help. Think of what we can do. People in prison are lonely. They need hope and happiness. Have you ever visited someone in prison or sent them special gifts? We can even pray for them by ourselves or with our families.
When someone is in prison, the whole family suffers.
Are there ways you can help the spouse and the children?
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 3 states, "Continue to remember those in prison as if you were with them in prison, and those who are mistreated as if you yourself were suffering."
In Matthew chapter 25, verse 36, we read, "I was in prison, and you came to visit me."
Shelter to homeless.
Have you ever donated things to the homeless?
You don't have to donate. You can volunteer at homeless shelters
Bring food to the homeless, help them get jobs and go to school.
and volunteer at soup kitchens.
People without homes will be grateful for anything you do to help.
We can also help at organizations such as
Salvation Army, Habitat for Humanity, and Catholic Charities.
Like Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give.
Jesus tells us, "Whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me."
When was the last time you helped someone in need?
Visit the sick. Millions of people in our world are sick and lonely. It is our job to comfort them by visiting them,
We can do this by giving cards
making them food.
and praying the rosary with them.
We can give gifts
Take care of their home.
and donate blood. In Psalm 30, verse 2, we read, "O Lord my God, I cried to you for help, and you healed me."
In Romans chapter 12, verse 13, we read, "Share with the Lord's people who are in need."
Bury the dead.
Every year, 56 million people die.
Some of those people have died alone.
Pope Francis says everyone is a brother or sister of God, yet we ignore these people until it's too late. But we can make up for it by helping people who have lost a loved one.
We can help them by listening, talking, and trying to comfort them.
We could attend a funeral if there is no family.
We could also help those people by telling them hopeful quotes, such as the one found in the second book of Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 17.
The old life is gone, a new one has begun.
This quote can help the people that have lost a loved one understand that just because a loved one can no longer spend life on earth with them, they have started a new life in heaven.
Pope Francis reminds us, a little more mercy makes the world less cold and more just.
Admonish the sinner.
To admonish someone is to warn or reprimand them about their wrongdoings.
Every day, people do bad things, and people around them won't tell them what they are doing is wrong.
Without warnings, they will keep doing bad things.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 15 says, "Yet do not regard him as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother."
The verse is telling us to admonish our enemies as if they are our friends.
To help sinners, we can ask them if what they are doing is right.
After this, they may examine themselves and reconsider what they were going to do.
If someone is lying, remind them to tell the truth.
If someone gossips to us, stop the gossip and don't spread it.
If someone cheats from one of our papers, tell the teacher and pull away your paper.
That is our work and they need to do their own.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 14 says, "We urge you, admonish the unruly, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with everyone."
When was the last time you helped a sinner?
instruct the ignorant.
To instruct the ignorant, we teach the unlearned.
Some people don't have the opportunity to learn or go to school.
To help, we can donate books and school supplies to schools and charities,
Volunteer to tutor at school.
and volunteer to help at homeless shelters.
In Isaiah chapter 48, verse 17, we read, I am the Lord your God, who teaches you what is best for you, who directs you in the way you should go.
Psalm 32, verse 8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you.
Counsel the doubtful. Have you ever seen someone sad or depressed? Did you help them? When someone thinks they can't do something, encourage them and help.
Jesus gave us an example of counseling the doubtful when he gently guided the Apostle Thomas back to belief in him.
One way to counsel the doubtful is to encourage someone to pray and pray for them as well.
When was the last time you counseled someone in doubt? Did you remind them to have hope? In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 15, we learn, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man is he who listens to counsel.
In Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14, we hear, for lack of guidance, nations fall, but victory is won through many advisors.
Comfort the sorrowful. Psalm 142, verse 1 tells us, with my voice I cry out to the Lord, with my voice I plead for mercy to the Lord. Have you ever had a loved one pass away?
Well, if you have, then you know that it can take weeks or maybe even months to feel better. Losing someone in your life is terrible, and really anything helps.
Maybe you can take the person to watch a movie or help them with homework. This is a great time to help someone feel better, and there are many things you can do.
Psalm 34, verse 18 reminds us that the Lord is near to those who are brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. When was the last time you included someone who seemed sad?
Maybe the person is insecure, losing faith in God, or having a hard time in school. We shouldn't judge someone if they are sad or in a bad mood because maybe something terrible is happening in his or her life.
So if you are at recess and a classmate is lonely, include him or her in your game or sit and talk. Say it's all going to be okay and that they will feel better.
Bear wrongs patiently.
Many people don't know how to be patient with others.
Some examples are road rages, fights at school, and abuse.
Whether it is a minor or serious situation, we need to take a deep breath and relax.
We should try a few of the following things. Work out the problem.
Take a deep breath and walk away.
Don't overreact and have self-control.
When was the last time you tried to not react in a negative way and be patient?
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32 reminds us, better a patient person than a warrior, one with self-control than one who takes a city.
Psalm 37, verse 7 says, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not worry when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes.
Forgive all injuries. Have you ever been hurt by someone? Was it easy to forgive them? Next time that happens, try to forgive the person as soon as possible. Forgiveness is a huge part in our lives today.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 14, we read, for if we forgive other people when they sin against us, our heavenly Father will also forgive us.
If someone has hurt us, forgive them and move on, even if they are not sorry. If someone is hurt and is taking their anger out on you, try to understand their situation and be patient with them.
Maya Angelou tells us to forgive others as quickly as we expect God to forgive us. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, to forgive. Forgive everyone.
In the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 37, we read, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven."
Mahatma Gandhi reminds us, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong.
Pray for the living and the dead. The letter to the Hebrews says, "It is appointed for men to die once, and after this comes judgment." So, our deceased loved ones go to the judgment seat of Christ, and that is worth praying about. Some things we can do are pray for family members and for people who are going through rough times, pray a decade of the rosary for them once in a while, and light a candle at church for them. Ted Decker says, prayer may just be the most powerful tool mankind has. In John chapter 11, verse 25 through 26, we read, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die." Do you believe this?